Hello everyone. So glad to be here, especially for my choreographers and dancers. My name is Trina Parks. I am the first Black American James Bond woman villain in the movie Diamonds Are Forever as Thumper. This video is about two iconic choreographers, Miss Catherine Dunham and Miss Martha Graham, that has influenced my life. Not only just my life, but my life as a dancer, a actress, and a vocalist. Please join me. Come with me as I speak about these two iconic choreographers that has really influenced my life of who I am today. Thank you. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me on this quest of these two iconic choreographers. I would like to start with Miss Catherine Dunham. And because I don't want to forget anything about her history, I am going to read to you some of her history and some of my experiences with this iconic woman. Miss Catherine Mary Dunham was born June 22nd, 1909. She was an American dancer, choreographer, anthropologist, and social activist. One of the most renowned Black modern dance artists of the 20th century. She has been called the matriarch and queen, mother of the Black dance. Also, as her dancers, we called her Miss D. While a student at the University of Chicago, Miss D also performed as a dancer, ran a dance school, and earned an early bachelor's degree in anthropology, receiving a postgraduate academic fellowship. At the height of her career, in 1940s and 50s, Ms. D was renowned through Europe and Latin America. Miss Catherine Dunham. Her father, Albert Miller Dunham, was a descendant of slaves of West Africa and Madagascar. Her mother, Fanny June Dunham, who accordingly to Dunham's memoir, possessed Indian, French, Canadian, English, and probably African ancestry. Her mom passed away when Dunham was 4 years young. Dunham became interested in both writing and dance at a young age. In 1921, a short story she wrote when she was 12 years old, Come Back to Arizona, the Brownies book. She graduated from Joliet Central High School in 1928, where she played basketball, tennis, and track, and served as vice president of the French Club. At the age of 15, she organized the Blue Moon Cafe, a fundraiser cafe to raise money for Brown's Methodist Church in Joliet, where she gave her first performance. While still in high school, she opened a private dance school for young Black children. Catherine Dunham received her bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in anthropology from the University of Chicago, and later did an extensive anthropological study. In 1935, Dunham was awarded travel fellowship from the Julius Rosenwald and the Guggenheim Foundations to conduct field work in Haiti, Jamaica, and Trinidad. She was the first African-American woman to attend college and to earn 3 degrees in 1938 using materials collected by fieldwork. Dunham submitted a thesis, The Dances of Haiti. In 1931, at the age of 21, Dunham formed a group called Ballet Negre, one of the first black ballet companies in the United States. The group performed Dunham's Negro Rhapsody at the Chicago Beaux-Arts Ball. Dunham opened her first dance school in 1933, calling it the Negro Dance Group. It was a venue for Dunham to teach young black dancers about their American history and African history. Miss Dunham passed away May 21st, 2006, at the age of 96. With her autobiography, she published the title, A Touch of Innocence. Also published a book about Haiti called Island Possessed. She received an Albert Schweitzer Music Award, the first of many awards. She accepted honorary doctorate from the Lincoln University. Miss Dunham did her thesis as a ballet dancer. She wanted to go to the African and European, Asian countries to do her thesis in dance and anthropology. After touring all the different countries, African and Caribbean countries, she settled in Haiti. She lived with the peoples of Haiti, gathered and learned about all of their culture, their history, and through their dance, she noticed that that was the base of the culture that they danced about. So when she returned to the United States, she formed her dance company in the 1930s, the mid-1930s, and she formed her all-black company. Miss Dunham toured with her all-black company in Europe, African countries, the African cities, the Caribbean cities, and then she started teaching at her school. And that's where I started with her. In 1963, I started taking classes from Miss Dunham at her school. I was actually going to the High School of Performing Arts, majoring in modern dance there, and 3 times a week I would walk up from 46th and Broadway to Miss D's school on 42nd and 9th Avenue. Miss D taught everything, her main technique and also karate. Karate she formed from the Haitian karate, which is called La Hagia. And that's what I was taught by her. And also her original dancers. My first ballet teacher was Miss Carmen DeLavoie. While I was taking classes there for some months, Miss D asked me if I would like to join the company and perform at the Apollo Theater. Now, this was in 1964, and this would be Miss Dunham's last performance with the company and the last time the company would perform in the United States. Miss Dunham choreographed the piece Shango. It's about a 20-minute piece directly from the Haitian ritual and dance. I did that piece and also one short Cuban piece with her partner, her dance partner for many years, Benoit Akins. What an honor to have been able to perform at the Apollo Theater in 1964 with the Dunham Company, with Miss Dunham. And what an honor. I didn't realize what an honor at that time. I was 15 years old. Then actually, I did not stop taking classes with Miss D. Later on, she also then asked me if I would like to join the company in Paris, France. Of course I would. But I would have to ask my father first because he would also have to sign that contract. Ms. D wanted me, after my graduation in 1965, to join the company in Paris in a show called Des Anges sont venus, which means two angels have come. She was going to choreograph this wonderful Broadway-type piece at the Theatre du Palais. And she wanted me to come as one of the featured female dancers. Again, what an honor. My father agreed, and after my graduation in 1965, about 2 months later, I took, for the first time, a plane from New York City to Paris. And it was pretty empty at that time. I had all the 3 seats by myself. And I joined the company there. Rehearsed with the company for about a year. We performed, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. The best that I had. To be trained, to be mentored, to have a guardian as Miss Catherine Levy. What an honor.
Hello again. Thank you for joining me so I could tell you about this iconic choreographer, Miss Martha Graham, the founder of the Martha Graham dance technique.
The celebration of Martha Graham's 100th celebration of her iconic works. Join me again on this journey about her accomplishments and my experiences with this wonderful choreographer. I'm going to read you about her history so I don't forget the things that are important for you to know. Miss Graham was an American modern dancer, teacher, and choreographer whose iconic Graham-style dance technique reshaped the dance world and is still taught in academies worldwide. Miss Graham was born in Allegheny City, later to become Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her parents provided a comfortable environment in her youth, but did not encourage dancing. There were 2 works that were seen to adhere to the most American and Greek mythology of hers. One was Graham's most known pieces that incorporates American life. That piece is Appalachian Spring, done in 1944. The next iconic piece was Night Journey in 1947, a Greek mythology. By 76 years young, Miss Graham had choreographed 181 pieces. In 1972, she returned to her studio, recognized her company, and went on to choreograph 10 new ballets. Her last was Maple Leaf Rag in 1990. The Martha Graham Dance Company is the oldest company in America, founded in 1926. It developed many famous dancers of the 20th and 21st centuries. Some were Eric Hawkins, Merce Cunningham, Paul Taylor, Anna Sokolow. Some of her female dancers were Martha Hill, Sophie Maslow, Pearl Lang, and the second group of her female dancers were Eureka and Patricia Birch, who I worked with also. Graham was awarded a Guggenheim Fellowship 3 times, once in 1932, in 1943, and in 1944. In 1957, Graham was elected a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Science. In 1976, was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Gerald Ford. In 1987, Graham was inducted into the National Museum of Dance by Mr. and Mrs. Vanderbilt. In May 11, 2020, which would have been Graham's 126th birthday, the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts acquired Graham's archives for its Jerome Robbins Dance Division archives, including paper-based material, photographs, films, and rare footage of Graham dancing in her iconic works. Miss Graham passed away of pneumonia in 1991 in New York City. Her autobiography, Blood Memory, was posthumously published in the fall of 1991. What I would like to do now is show you Miss Graham introducing her character of preparing for her character of Jacata in this film, and also introducing her original dance company.
A theater dressing room is a very special place. It's where the act of theater begins. And makeup is a magic. It's a ritual. It's the means by which you transform yourself into the character you hope to play. You make up your face as you think she might have looked. You dress your hair as you think she might have dressed hers. I'm wearing my hair tonight as Jocasta, or at least as I hope she wore it. And then there comes a moment when she looks at you in the mirror and you realize that she's looking at you and recognizing you as herself. It is through you, her love, her hope, her fear, her terror is to be expressed. And there's a moment of fear on your own part. Dread, a sense of hazard, feeling that perhaps you haven't done quite enough work. Perhaps you should have gone back to the studio and worked again. Because that which you do not want to do is to fail in either clarity or in passion. You give all your life to doing this one thing. It sounds grim, it sounds frightening. It isn't. It has a great gaiety at times and a great wonder. But at the same time, there is that need to go back to the studio. Dance is communication, and the great desire is to speak clearly and beautifully and with inevitability. And this is true of all of us. It's true of me. It's true of every member of my company. And when a dancer is at the peak of his power, he has two lovely, fragile, perishable things. One is spontaneity, but it is something arrived at over years and years of training. It's not a mere chance. The other is simplicity, but that also is a different simplicity. It's the state of complete simplicity, costing no less than everything.
I would like to tell you about my wonderful, iconic, honoring experiences with this wonderful choreographer. Back in 1963, when I was a junior in the High School of Performing Arts. First, I want to tell you a little bit about before I got into the school and how I got into the school. I was taking ballet classes at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. And when I was about 10, 11 years old, I started doing ballet, toe work. So I wanted to take the audition for the High School of Performing Arts in ballet, for the ballet department, to major in ballet. Well, I took the audition, and I was actually the only black dancer there, young black dancer there. And then these two, the directors of the Martha Graham dance department, came to me, Miss Gertrude Scher and Miss May O'Donnell, who were Miss Graham's original dancers, came to me and said, would I like to come back for the modern department? Actually, I didn't want to, but at 13, I'm not going to say, no, I don't want to come back. So I did. The next week, I took off my ballet slippers and did a short modern dance. I got into the school, but I did not know why they came to me, because at that time, and that is 1961, they were not accepting black females into the ballet department. Not until the 1970s, when MA, Music and Art, and PA, Performing Arts merged in LaGuardia. That was my introduction to the Martha Graham Dance Technique Department at the high school, New York High School of Performing Arts, which I don't. I am very honored to have. I was thinking that I would not have ballet classes, but we did every day, as we did with the Martha Graham technique. My teachers were David Wood, who was Miss Graham's original dancer in her company, and Mr. Norman Walker. In my junior year, Mr. Norman Walker chose me as the lead female in his Martha Graham piece that we did at the end of the year, called Ritual and Dance. I was so honored to have done that. Throughout the years also, Miss Graham would come and teach master classes to our class, and also some of her original dancers, and especially to me, her first black female dancer, Miss Mary Hingston. I was so honored to meet her after her master class to us. Later in the year, Miss Helen Tamaris, who was also Miss Graham's original dancer, was commissioned to do a piece for the senior group, which was our group, our 1965 performance. Miss Helen Tamaris chose myself, Ben Vereen, and Winston Hemsley to do her Negro spirituals, her iconic pieces that no one else had done but herself back in the 1940s when she created the Negro spirituals. She chose me to do Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. What an honor, what an honor. For my senior class, myself, Ben Vereen, and Winston Hemsley did her original pieces, Negro spirituals. Some years later, Miss Anna Sokolow, who also was Miss Graham's original dancer, asked me if I would like to join her original dance company. And Miss Anna Sokolow was also, at that time, choreographing the musical Hair on Broadway. And I was honored to join Miss Anna Sokolow's company. We performed in Berkeley, California, and we performed live at that time, the Hallmark Hall of Fame series, which would come on Sundays, live. We performed her iconic piece, Rooms. These people
these wonderful dancer choreographers from Graham, the umbrella of Miss Graham, Miss Graham's dancers, original dancers, dancers working with her. I was so honored to have worked with, to have been taught by, and to have known, to have them give me all of this wonderful technique that I have still in my body, that I have been be able to teach others. This wonderful, iconic Martha Graham technique. Also, please, I have written also my autobiography. They call me Thumper. All of my experiences with Miss Catherine Dunham, with Miss Graham, Miss Martha Graham, is in this book in detail. So you will know more of this great history of both of these iconic choreographers and dancers. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me in this tribute to these wonderful, iconic dancers. Thank you.